Well, Natasha, it's been a big few weeks for women's boxing, but again, not many people are calling it women's boxing at the minute because the best fights are just happen to be women. Is that the way you're seeing it with the Claressa fight, obviously, and the way that it's all been going?
Yeah, I just think them fights are easier to make right now. And all the females want to fight, and they want to fight the best at the best, you know, any time, day. And we don't seem to have the same occurrence in the men's. Maybe that's because the commercial value of it or whatever it is, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. You know, your Furies and Joshuas and your Spence and Crawford. You know, there's just two at the top of my head that everyone's dying. Tank and Garcia. You know, they don't seem to be happening for whatever reason, but, you know, the women are just getting in there, saying they want to fight the best, putting everything on the line and going out with the performances to match. And
obviously you jump in divisions when you have to. You're making all these big sacrifices, if you like, to make these fights happen. So it is a black eye for the men's side of the game, isn't it? That these fights aren't being made. You know, again, you mentioned there Fury, Joshua, what happened, and now Fury, Chisora, and all the rest of it. Whereas, you know, you're fighting again now. It's another unification fight. We've seen what Claressa and Savannah did, numbers-wise and everything. So it's come on so fast, hasn't it, really, since you came back and turned pro?
Yeah, it's going from strength to strength. You know, we had... You should always look to move forward in any sport that you do in progression. And you know, you asked Jane Couch when she was in the game what was, you know, the thing, the boxing and the sports like then, and she's made up that it's developed. And you know, now that we're in it, that's the same. That when we leave, it should be developed. It should be moving on. If a sport stands still, that's when you should be concerned. It's moving. It's developing. We've got the athletes to do it. Now we've got the platforms and the promoters behind us, and that's all we ever needed. We knew how good the sport was at its highest level. We just needed the world to see it. Yeah,
and I suppose there's the depth issue, but that's getting better and better. And you're seeing women headline, not just Claressa, Katie this week as well. And again, and then you get your headlining slot as well. I mean, how good's that feel, how to be in these headlining events now at places like the Arena?
Yeah, I think at the time when you're just an athlete in it, you know, it's all about your performances and going in and winning, then you don't really appreciate the spectacle that it is until after the event, and you look back. You know, you can see in Claressa's tweets now when she's looking back fondly of the occasion and the moment, but at the time she was just focused on winning and telling everyone how good she was and going out and proving it. And I think that's just the athlete in you, you know, until the actual, you know, deed is done and you've won, then you can look back and focus on the occasion. But unfortunately, you're always so results driven that you don't appreciate the moment until after it's gone.
And she's got you in her sights now, it would seem.
Yeah, I've heard. Everyone wants a piece now, yeah.
You've got a fight, though, a proper fight to take care of before you can talk about Claressa. And I know, obviously, it's the old cliche, but you can't look beyond Decare, can you? I mean, she's a very talented fighter. You've got some common foes on the record. She's boxed Namus and I think a couple of others possibly as well. I mean, what does she bring? She's southpaw as well, isn't she? Yeah,
she's southpaw, so that's different for me. I would been quite fortunate with Namus and Bergelt that they, you know, came well under the 154 limit. I think one was 149 and the other one was 148. So that probably played into my hands because I'm only coming in 148 myself. I think when Decare gets in, she'll be 160 plus. So that's a big difference. So I'm going to have to handle that. I'm going to have to box smart. She's good on her feet. She's good with her hands. But overall, like, I just think I'm better, so I've got to go out and prove that and not only build on the Bergelt and Namus victories, but show everything that I do in the gym and show that I've improved that little 1% that you're trying to improve every time.
This new division, I mean, do you feel very settled in it now? I say new, you've had a couple of fights, obviously, at this weight, but yeah. But does it feel now, are you happy with everything in terms of at the weight now?
Yeah, I could say I'm only weighing in 148.
Yeah, so you're coming in light anyway.
I'm coming in light. I could go down. There's no chance of me going up to 160. So yeah, but I feel comfortable. I think, you know, you realise sometimes how much, you know, weight making sometimes takes out of you when you do these heavier weights. I've managed to keep me power, keep me speed, and keep me footwork as well. So. Yeah, I've still managed to keep all my assets, you know, and working on others. But, you know, now you're in with bigger, stronger girls. You know, you don't want to take too many shots either. So you've got to box smart and, you know, move my head a bit more.
Some opportunities, though, isn't there? Again, Claressa's going to be the biggest name out there. But Terry Harper, again, it's great really in this division now, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, I think Claressa's even said, 154 in the UK now is a great division to come back. That's why she's potentially wanting to move back down, because there is competition there and there is good boxers and good fighters there, and she's going to struggle to get opponents 160 plus because of how talented she is. So, like I say, we'll fight anyone. Yeah. And women will do that. So the competition's here, and she's more than likely, she's never run from a competition in her life, so she'll come back down and she'll get in the mix with all of us. There's potential that, I'm not saying Michaela Mile will move all the way up, but there's potential for her to move up, and it makes the divisions a whole lot tastier when there's a lot more depth, as you say.
Yeah, and I wouldn't imagine, need to travel either, because they all want to come here now, and Claressa's proved that, and she had so much fun, I think, with the build-up to it. She was brilliant value in the build-up and then the fight, and I think you're not going to get that in America. You're not going to get a full O2 or a full Manchester Arena. I
don't believe so. I think the commercial value of it is here in the UK. I think that's where, like I say, women's boxing's on a great increase at the minute, and we're projecting in the right direction, exponentially getting bigger and bigger every show. So, I think for us females fighting, it's here. I'd love to fight in the US still. But yeah, I think where the money is here.